Christmas 2021 might finally be the year where we can say that people have really taken to VR. Now, every Christmas we know VR spikes up with the holiday sales and all that stuff, but this year there are record-breaking numbers that give us a lot of optimism towards the future of VR and the masses taking to it. We'll get into more of that in just a moment, but let's talk about some things that are to come. Most notably, a big report coming out about the hiring on the side of Apple of Andrea Schubert. Now, if Schubert's not a household name for you, I don't blame you. They were the head of communications for Meta's XR products. Most notably, they were brought in March of 2016, which if you've been following VR that long, you'll know that date because it's just a month and 2 months prior to the official release and rollout of the Oculus Rift, which was the first big consumer version product of theirs. And Schubert's been around basically for the entirety of the time since then, helping things like the Rift S, the Go, and of course the Quest products that have come out. So they're definitely seasoned in the experience of this. Now, it's no real secret at this point if you follow any VR news that Apple is looking to bring a VR headset with AR capabilities, and that's rumored to be in 2022. Does that mean that it's going to be within the next 1 to 2 months? Not really. We've seen a lot of reports that are saying more towards the end of 2022, but the hiring of Schubert does kind of raise a few flags of when is this going to happen? How soon will it happen? And not when, but not if, but more of a matter of when at this point, as we all expect for Apple's big announcement. The other big part about that, of course, is the price tag, rumored to be around $3,000. So I don't know how many people are really going to be able to afford this, but what it's going to be capable of, we're all very eager to see just how much it's going to be able to do. So that's a bit of news to keep an eye on for the future outside of the traditional scope of VR that we know. Also looking forward, but not too far forward, is bHaptics' release of their haptic gloves. Now, these are actually going to be on showcase at CES in just a few days after this video, or within about a week. So everybody's really got their eyes on what exactly they're going to be able to do with these because they've already shown a price tag to be of $300, which is the same price as the entry level of the Quest 2. Now, if you're a diehard VR fan, then I'm sure the haptic feedback and any of that stuff is going to be there. And as there's more that comes to the table, that means the lower the price will be in due time. But for now, there's going to be very limited features on this because it is for hand tracking on the Quest 2 and the HoloLens 2. And we know that hand tracking has come a very, very long way, but we still have quite a ways to go as it has limited capability. Make no mistake about it though, if you're a diehard VR fan, getting any type of haptic feedback that's available for consumer purchase, that is a very, very promising sign, and I'm eager to get my hands on these, or in them, I guess, at this point as well. So we'll keep an eye out to see how people take to that once CES is wrapped up. Another bit of news that is coming up very soon is also a beta. Not just a beta, but a second beta for Zenith, the MMORPG that is coming, expecting soon of 2022, but the second beta is set to be coming out. Now, the first beta went out and that was not able to be streamed, but it has been rumored that the second beta that is coming up will allow for streams and other content to be built around it, meaning that some of your favorite creators will be able to get some of that information out, give you their thoughts, and to be able to get an idea. Now, we don't really know because it's so hard to kind of share VR and get an idea on how people can expect to respond to it. But at the same time, this could be groundbreaking territory to bring in some of those audiences. A lot of people have played MMORPGs, and the social element of VR is kind of what connects everybody together. The most popular apps out there, of course, are multiplayer apps to some degree. So to be able to share that content is something to keep an eye on for Zenith and just how well that does in the coming months. Now, it's kind of hard to look forward when there's a lot to look back on, and well, everybody has their list of what their favorite game of 2021 was. Resident Evil 4 came out with a monster release in some way, but for people like me, that game is terrifying. I don't like scary stuff. I don't like jump scares, especially in VR. It's even worse. It's horrifying. But I do know there is a large, rabid audience base for that. For me, games that I like are probably a little bit more tame. For me, I go back all the way to the DK version. So I Expect You to Die was a game I played in 2015. So to see I Expect You to Die 2 come out all these years later was really fun for me, and that's going to be one of my favorite games of 2021, mostly due to the nostalgia factor, but I also like puzzle games like that in the room. So for me, I Expect You to Die 2, a fantastic release for 2021. I'm curious what your favorite game of 2021 was, whether it was Unplugged, whether it's Demio, which of course is blowing up right now, and I'm curious what your thoughts are, so let me know in the comments below. All right, lastly, the big news, of course, of 2021 was the end of the year, and that is the time where we saw on Christmas Day, the Oculus app on the App Store was the #1 app, overtaking TikTok for a brief period of time and every other app out there. That is big news. That just goes to show just how many people got a Quest 2 for Christmas. But beyond that, we actually had a lot of developers share their numbers with us, which is a rare insight, but when it's VR, it still very much is fresh. So we saw a lot of huge numbers. Rec Room really came out and said, hey, we had over 1 million users throughout the first 60 hours after Christmas. That is a phenomenal number for them to achieve. We saw 11 Table Tennis, their numbers skyrocketed. Golf Plus, which is one of my brother's favorite games, he's probably going to be very happy because there was an explosion in the amount of people that were using that. And we saw several other examples of just how wild Christmas was this year for the Quest 2, game-breaking, shattering records for basically every metric that's out there. So it's awesome to see just how many people got a Quest 2 this Christmas. And so what that means is it's time for them to join us in the VR realm. So be kind, share your experiences with others out there, and welcome everybody in that has joined the VR world through the Quest 2, which is a very exciting time for all of us.